Hi, it's Jeff.
And Denise from Mousesteps.com.
And this is episode number 246.
246.
Of Mousesteps Weekly.
Sponsored by MEI Travel and Mouse Fan Travel. It's hard to believe we're now in the Christmas season. We're going to be talking all about Halloween and Christmas today because they happen in the same week.
Right.
But if you're looking to book holiday travel, I was going to say Halloween travel, but you don't want to book that right now probably. But for Christmas at Walt Disney World, at Disneyland, on the Disney Cruise Line, this is a great time to do that.
Absolutely. Now is the time. Now or never, actually. But there's always next year. You can even book for next year. You aren't kidding about that. Never too early.
Check out their newsletter on their website, and they have about 80 agents, and so one of them can help you very quickly.
So you weren't kidding when you talked about holidays colliding. It's like living in a nightmare before Christmas when two holidays collide. We just had Halloween, and we're going to talk all about Halloween, and then we're going to go into full force Christmas time here.
Well, Halloween was 1 week ago today, so I mean it's kind of amazing to think that, and then Disney changed over so quickly. We're at Fort Wilderness here. We were checking out campsites, the golf cart parade, and just
pet parade too. This is our tradition. We've been doing this for many, many years. We're closing in on 10 years in a row of doing this. You're looking at the hitchhiking ghosts, and again, this is Halloween Eve. Actually, we used to do this on Halloween, but a couple years ago they changed the golf cart parade date to Halloween Eve, which is actually a lot better.
Right, and every year is a little bit different here. But what isn't different? I mean, the campers here just do such a great job of decorating, and you can see all kinds of. Well, you can see.
I'm just so excited! I can go to MGM Studio, not Epcot Center, but I can go to a River Country, so that's very good.
I just love the decor, especially. But here we are. We're at the pet parade. I don't know how long they've been doing this. We've only gone to 2 or 3 of the pet parades. We've done the
turnout!
Golf cart parades a long time. But yeah, and this is at the dog park. They've had a dog park for a number of years now, and you can see all the different dressed up dogs.
And all the dogs absolutely love wearing the costumes and being in this parade, wouldn't you say?
Well, I was surprised at how many are okay with having something on them. I know not all of them do, but like there's a little black pug that was so cute and it seemed to love its outfit.
Well, I quickly learned when we did this for the first time that you need to be very close to the beginning because oftentimes the costumes don't quite last to the further down the parade route.
Well, especially if they have hats and such. And I also wonder, like it's always called a pet parade, but I've never seen anything but dogs in it. So I wonder, like, if you brought an iguana, if you brought...
Snake?
If you anything, well, like a cat, like
nice
if that would work out. Probably
Starbucks
not.
Costume there. I didn't quite notice it before.
Oh, yeah, I had seen that one. And they came... I was along the fence in the back there. So now we're here for the Fort Wilderness Golf Cart Parade. This is something we've been sharing for probably like 8 years or so. And Halloween really is like the biggest holiday here as far as the golf cart parades, although I was very surprised that 4th of July is big as well. But here are Chip and Dale, and they're on a wagon this year.
Well, they've been doing the wagon for about a year now. I think every parade starts with a wagon. It used to just be a golf cart. I think this is a much nicer way to kick off the parade.
Right, I totally agree with that. They also then had a meet and greet afterwards. This is one of the, I don't know if they won last year, but that was one of the biggest carts from last year, and it was a return one.
I remember that one, yeah, and that was a good one. But there were so many great ones. Even this dinosaur, this Jurassic Park was excellent. This was one of the top finishers here, the Steamboat Willie. Just a phenomenal year for the golf cart parade.
This was a really strong year. Plus, there was a lot of carts. Like at one point they stopped, and I thought, okay, well, that's it. And then so many more carts came.
Popcorn. I love all the popcorn buckets hanging there.
There was 2 popcorn ones. And then you have Wall-E here, which was one of my personal favorites. And we don't even know who won. And I'm sure somebody who's watching will know.
Yes, if anyone knows who won, please post it in the show notes because we are very curious ourselves.
The Wall-E one was one of my favorites, probably in my personal top 3. And then this was one of the top ones as well here, this Moana cart. And there were several Moana carts as well.
And not to mention the campers. The campers get in on the act and have some great costumes, as you can see here from the Toy Story cart.
Right. And so here is a castle. Was this one? I don't think this one made one of the top ones. But
sadly, no. But to me, it's one of the top. I mean, there's so many good ones, so it's hard to pick.
It was hard this year. Most years there's a couple really big standouts, but this year there was quite a few that really were very good.
And that was a frozen cart there. And this is the Fort Wilderness food truck.
Did you know, and the thing is, I've only seen the real food truck a few times now, but it was funny to see this, and I thought that they did a great job.
Now, this is one of the very best ones because the costume of the Hatbox Ghost, absolutely amazing, and we'll see more of him at the very end.
This was one of the top carts as well. And I really liked that one a lot. That was in my top 3.
And this is the Alice in Wonderland, I believe, Johnny Depp Alice in Wonderland version with those characters there.
And this is one that did not make it into the top, but this was one of our favorites, and it was a tribute to the great movie ride. And you even see the witch's legs there.
I mean, look at this. You have one of the gangsters. They're very themed. They did such a great job of theming. And this was one of the top finishers, the lifeguards.
Right. And then you had a mater. They called it Little Mater.
Little Mater. I love it. What a great job.
And from Rusty Springs. But that was terrific too. And there's just so many really great golf carts, and this is one of our favorite things really to do in the year. It's sort of it doesn't matter what else is going on, we always end up heading over here.
So not just golf carts, they also had a pumpkin decorating contest, and these are done by the campers.
Right, and there is Olaf with several pumpkins. I thought this was such a great one here. I don't know exactly, it looks like candy corns. So I don't know if they stuck them on a little pumpkin, and that's a Finding Dory theme. And then there's all kinds of different ones. Not everything has a Disney theme. Like this one's ripping I don't know what it's doing with its hands.
Well, right. I mean, this is obviously going for the scary category. It's very scary.
But some of the pumpkins are Disney themed as well. And I like this one actually, the apple. And I guess somebody said it's like a squash.
Yeah, you can see the squash inside.
And I didn't even realize that, but it doesn't matter. They did a terrific job with it. And then there's the Hatbox Ghost here as well. So you had a Hatbox Ghost pumpkin, and you had a Hatbox Ghost
the Hatbox himself.
Yes.
Now this confused a lot of people. What these were the cast member pumpkins, and the one in the middle, people didn't figure out what it was, but it is a s'more.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah,
but,
what a great job with the s'more there.
So, but anyway, the pumpkins, we always enjoy seeing the artistry of not only the golf carts, but of the pumpkins from the campers at Walt Disney World's Fort Wilderness.
So new this year, they actually parked the top floats out on the grass here. And this is the grass where the Headless Horseman had a surprise meet last year. He did not do that this year. But we had another scary, a Hatbox Ghost. And this Hatbox Ghost stood out here for, to my count, 40 minutes, because we had to go to Trails End for lunch, or dinner, I guess. But he was out there doing his thing and earning whatever award he got, because...
he better have gotten an award, because he was really terrific. I mean, I just thought that was my favorite. That was my favorite cart, just because of the fantastic costume.
I mean, all these acts were going on for well over at least a half an hour. You know, the ones that
I think it was
movement.
I think it was at least an hour. We were waiting for dinner. Then we went in to eat dinner, but then we came back out to take some photos.
It was so good. We actually left the buffet to go back outside because it was just so good to see what was happening out there.
It was really, if you get a chance to go to Disney's Fort Wilderness, especially for the Halloween events, it's totally worth it.
And you can never have too many trips to Trails End. And I'm just showing just a couple pictures of our dinner, but Trails End, as always, was wonderful. We found out something new to us anyway, is Trails End is not open for lunch anymore.
No, I don't know about brunch, but it's only open otherwise for breakfast and dinner, but it's a longer time period for the P&J's Southern Takeout. So at least that's something also. It's nice to be able to do, takeout for all day long, really.
And we've done that many times. It's a really good deal. We get the Lone Rider
right,
and
the chicken.
Split it. Yeah, if you get all white meat, it makes it a very, very good deal for $10, enough for the two of us. Anyway, of course, it is Halloween Eve. This was not advertised. We had no idea this was going to happen. But Chip and Dale made an appearance in their Halloween costumes, and here they are.
Right. It wasn't on the schedule. The next day, they had the resorts. All the resorts, I think, had characters the next day. But Chip and Dale, we figured they probably would because they were at the campground anyway. So everybody was very excited to see them.
Well, just in case anybody is wondering, if we had no idea they were going to be there, how am I getting them walk out down that little hallway? I had seen their first set, and I asked when they're coming while we were in. So I did know that they were going to be coming out. So that's how I managed to pull off that shot. But here they are, Halloween, Chippendale. We see a vampire and a pirate.
Right, and we've seen them before. We've seen them at the campfire when they used to have the Headless Horseman go to the campfire. Now it is a paid event. The Headless Horseman is a paid event throughout October.
Yeah, sadly it was sold out. We will definitely do that. We'll be on top of things and do that next year. And here's our picture. That's a PhotoPass picture. They actually had PhotoPass out. And now we're going to take a look at some of these nighttime jack-o'-lanterns.
Right, and they had added some more. So you can see this Fort Wilderness. There always seems to be at least one Fort Wilderness pumpkin every year, and some of them are lit up nicely, and they really these are actually real pumpkins. It's not like the Disney ones where the cast members now carve out the fake pumpkins.
Right, these are real pumpkins
that they can buy at the trading post.
And that is the real food truck, so you could see how accurate the little food truck was. And they had the beach bash here, and this was some of the food we had already eaten at Trail's End. And look at the nice lighting here on the beach.
And we had been just to take a look for a second at the beach bash, which they've done for a number of years now. Mm-hmm. I guess if you there's Pooh, but the campsite guests at Disney's Fort Wilderness Campground do such a great job, so we always love to head over there.
And it's very spooky, the Fort Wilderness sign, and I'm wearing my brand new, of course, it was completely random, but I had a Hatbox Ghost shirt on that you had bought for me.
Yeah, and you hadn't even thought about that.
So now it's the next day. This is Halloween itself, and we decided we're going to start off over at Disney's Polynesian Resort because we had heard Elvis Stitch was there.
Right, he is often there for Halloween, and we didn't go to too many resorts on this day, but we did a few. And this is the first time I think either of us had met Elvis Stitch.
Oh, I had never met Elvis Stitch, and it was well worth the wait. He was wonderful.
I have seen him, and I think he had been with Lilo at least once, possibly, that I had seen. But again, I had never waited for him or anything.
Oh, you actually saw him in real life?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure a number of years ago I did.
So there he goes. It is Elvis Stitch taking a little break. Now, because we were over at the Polynesian, we decided we're going to try Mahalloween at Trader Sam's. We had never done Mahalloween yet, and this is from another day, but I'm just showing they have new mugs. This is the hippopotami tie.
But they're sold out.
Well, now they're sold out.
They sold out within like days.
And this is a new Oa mug, a different glaze. They both are just different glazes and colors, but basically the same mug itself. This is us in Trader Sam's, and they had black pearls. All the pearls were black in honor of Halloween. This is the whole table of people we were sitting with. There's all the pearls.
And I think that they sold out those pretty quickly.
By 7 o'clock, I think they were done, so it's a good thing we did that early.
Right, and when I said the blue hippo glasses are sold out, I mean, they can come back at any time, but they sold out pretty quickly, the first ones that they got.
They sure did, but it was really nice. It was a very nice, relaxing way to kick off Halloween with Mahalloween at Trader Sam's, so I'd recommend that. Now we walked over to Disney's Grand Floridian, and here is Minnie in her witch outfit.
Right, and I don't think I've ever seen Minnie in this outfit before. We had waited in line, but we didn't get to see Minnie because she traded off with Mickey Mouse. So we did end up meeting Mickey, though, in a scarecrow costume.
That's right. From one scarecrow to another, here he comes, Mickey. Now, Mickey used to wear this at Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party. This was his traditional outfit when you met him at the party. That has changed now. He is wearing his purple outfit, but kind of a throwback to me to see Mickey in this.
And I think that he has been in this. Somebody said he had been in this at the boardwalk. So it's possible through the years that he has worn this occasionally at different resorts and such.
I think we've seen him wear that at the boardwalk a number of years ago.
So, but it's very interesting to see the different character costumes. Again, did we only meet 2 that day?
Yeah, I think it was just those 2.
Right, and then we saw Minnie. So we didn't go too crazy on characters that day. It takes a while. It was like an hour wait for Mickey. Here, not very long for Elvis Stitch. So it was was fun.
And we had started the day at Epcot, and I'm not showing that because we have a jam-packed show, but we saw a few things at Epcot that weren't Halloween related. Speaking of Halloween, though, our good friend Curious Axel is going to show us the Halloween Soiree at Disneyland Paris, and it looks so fun. It's something we've never done. It's they only have one party a year, and it's actually on Halloween night. So here is Curious Axel from the Curious Axel YouTube channel to tell you all about it.
Hi guys, no trick-or-treating here in Disneyland Paris, but a lot of other stuff. So we're all dressed up for this Halloween soiree here at Disneyland Paris, and we are going to discover what this night has to offer together with you. We're off!
But something bizarre is going on everywhere, so you're not caught unaware. Watch out! It's
Happy Halloween, Jafar! This was the Halloween soiree here in Disneyland Paris. I hope you enjoyed the bits and pieces that we showed you, and I hope to see you all next year, but maybe not in Paris. See you there. Bye guys.
That was really great. It was the first time I had seen it. Thanks to Axel at the Curious Axel YouTube channel. He's really did a great job.
And in case you're wondering, we are looking at some Christmas scenes that Curious Axel shot. And this is very cool. It is the
Goofy's Incredible Christmas. It's on their Tower of Terror, just as we have something on our Tower of Terror now. But they had Star Wars first last year, and now they have this as well.
I think their tower, it works better because of the angle of it. You're seeing so much more, but well, you'll see what I mean, because we're going to show you something called Sunset Seasons Greetings on our tower. So perfect timing for Axel.
And they just had their preview. This he got before they had their own preview of this, but now they've had it, so we can show that, and I think that's awesome.
So now we're going to Disney's Hollywood Studios. It's Christmas time. This was shot on November 1st, the day after Halloween.
It was incredible because they still had another Halloween party to do in Magic Kingdom, and then the next day it turned into First Christmas there. Here you see Santa Claus. He has been at the top of this. It hasn't always been Nikon. It was, I think, Kodak before. But they've had a Santa up there, except for 1 year, for at least 10 years or so, because I've been photographing him forever.
Well, this is one of my favorite things of all about Christmas at Disney's Hollywood Studios.
And if you go into the Celebrity 5 and 10, they have a little postcard, and they call them the Jingle Bells, and that started a few years ago, where there seemed to be a backstory for them. And so now I just call them the Jingle Bells.
There is an ornament of the Jingle Bells.
There is, and we have never bought it. It's been out. This is like the third season it's been out, so I need to get that.
I think the decorations at Hollywood Studios have never looked better.
Well, I mean, you're missing the Osborne Lights and the Muppets decorating area.
This is true.
But Echo Lake is beautiful. When I first heard that Echo Lake was going to be getting decorated for the holidays, I'm like, But I think, especially at night, and we'll be showing it, right?
Yes, we're going to see it. It's
gorgeous.
Even better at night.
And it's such a classic Christmas feel to it in the evenings especially.
And we were there so early, they were still filling up the Echo Lake Lagoon.
Right, that had been empty as they were getting ready for this event.
These are classic. I love the look of the reindeer. Or maybe they're just deer.
No, these are, of course they're reindeer. You don't just put deer out here. They have to be reindeer.
Of course.
But, I mean, they're probably not like Rudolph. But those are in front of, you can see the Primetime Cafe back there. And they have garland, and you can see like the Santa portrait and some other portraits there too.
And here is a highlight. It is Dinosaur Gertie with a Santa hat.
Right. And I think this is almost everybody's favorite, is seeing Santa Gertie. And so that's something a little different. And you've got the ornament coming out of the mouth and the smoke as well.
Yeah, this is tremendous. I think this is a definite opportunity for merchandise.
Well, an ornament, maybe a shirt or something. I don't know if they'll do that, but they should.
I would buy it in a heartbeat.
It's certainly an ornament, although I would say that about the Jingle Bell ornament, but I haven't bought that yet either.
You know, if Dinosaur Gertie could wear a Santa hat, why not the Animals in the Jungle Cruise? That's what I want to know.
Well, don't some
Jingle Cruise, I should say.
Jingle Cruise. Some of them do. Not all of them, though. Maybe some of the other ones should. The Rhino should.
Here's a look at the Christmas tree right in the center of Echo Lake, looking very good. It used to be out in the front of the park, and before that, it was in front of the Chinese Theater many years ago in the 90s.
Well, I like that at night the reflection looks so beautiful of the ornaments, of the tree, of everything that's kind of on the lake. So it's really, if you have a tripod or even just a handheld camera, it's a nice time to get photos in the evening.
Yeah, I think this is going to be our go-to place to relax after dark and just enjoy the atmosphere around Christmas time.
I totally agree. And then you can see some of the fireworks from Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam. You could see some of those, shooting up too.
And I like that they have different characters. Here is Santa himself. I shouldn't call Santa a character.
No, but different portraits. There's like 3 different ones. One of them is, the reindeer. One of them is Santa, and one of them is something else. I don't remember what it is, but like a plant or something. I don't know.
Well, you're not always going to have water coming out of the boat there, but again, it was being filled. I mean, this was very new at the time.
Right. So it was really exciting to see it. And I just want to mention Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam, and then also we're going to see Sunset Season's Greetings. That actually, both of those start on November 9th. So the events at the park generally start on November 9th.
And this is where the Sunset Season's Greetings are going to be. We were able to go to a preview. We're going to talk all about that. And you can see they put in a new moving billboard here.
Right. And I think there's, 2 billboards total during Sunset Season's Greetings. And we'll show that. You can see the vignettes that are on the tower are also partly on the screens.
Right.
So it kind of introduces them and such, but I like being closer to the tower, so I didn't even watch them quite as often.
So this was an annual pass holder preview, complete surprise. We saw it on Twitter, of all places, and we raced out because they said the wristbands were going to be first come, first serve.
And look at this. I just want to say also, they call it Flurry of Fun, all the Disney's Hollywood Studios events this year, and we ended up buying a Pluto popcorn bucket because look how cute it is. And
look
it even
has
a bone on his, it's like a collar.
This is the Oogie Boogie of Christmas.
Well, so far, but that's, hopefully there's not any more popcorn buckets because how many does anybody need? But look how cute this is, and it's $13.50, and I think it's like $1.50 for refills. So I think that's a pretty good deal as well.
So we had raced out very early to get our wristbands. We came back home and then went back to the Hollywood Studios at night to see the pass holder preview event. And it was the first time we've been in here at night with everything new, lit up. Look at how beautiful it looks.
Right, and I definitely recommend spending a little time over in the Echo Lake area. I don't think it's not going to be an area that's as crowded as some, like, you know, if you're saying Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam, that's always going to be probably crowded. But not everybody comes over to Echo Lake, and I just think with the music, it's really classic Christmas type music. And look at, I mean, even Dinosaur Gertie there is reflected. This is just a fantastic area, and I never would have expected it. So really, Disney's Hollywood Studios is a very, very nice location for the holidays this year.
And you're right about the soundtrack. I specifically noticed it. I don't know if it's completely new, but it's just that it has a classic feel to it. I really, really like the new soundtrack.
Yeah, I mean, just a classic, I don't know, maybe a 40s feel to it, just an older style. But here is Gertie still smoking away.
You know, you can never get enough of Dinosaur Gertie.
No,
Santa Dinosaur Gertie.
Everybody loves it. So anyway, Echo Lake is a major part of the holidays at Disney's Hollywood Studios this year. Then you have Sunset Seasons Greetings, and then you'll have the Jingle Bell, Jingle Bam. Those are really the main events this year. For, as they would call, Florida Fun.
So now we're going to jump right into Sunset Seasons Greetings, the new projection show on our tower. And you can see it's a totally different angle of a projection than they have at Disneyland Paris.
And I hadn't really thought about it, but that one seems much wider. So it certainly looks a little bit different, but I actually enjoy the projection shows. You can see the Pixar ball here, and it says Hollywood Toy Hotel. It's really, I know not everybody loves seeing so many projections, but I actually enjoy it.
Not to mention, it is snowing.
Not real snow, it's snow bubble, or it's like soap bubbles.
Don't ruin it. Do not give away.
Don't put your tongue out.
It was 85 degrees or so.
It was pretty warm that night.
Now, they also have these introduction videos on those two screens we talked about. So we're going to take a look at a full one. This is one of my favorites. It's the Muppets. There's 4 of these little projection shows total.
Right. Well, there's 4 segments. They equal about 15 minutes total, including where you have the screens, like you have the Swedish chef here talking about, it's almost like an introduction to what you're about to see.
Well, absolutely, because he's showing you how to make a gingerbread house, and then on the tower, you're going to see the tower turn into a giant gingerbread house.
So what happens on the tower is probably 1 to 2 minutes each, and then also there's a little bit of projections that go in between the segments.
That's when the snow happens.
Right, that's when the snow happens. So again, only like 15 minutes, so it's pretty quick. I stood there for about an hour photographing, and at that point I was like, okay, well, I'm pretty good on this now.
You know, now that you say it, it's kind of like the Osborne dancing lights, where the lights dance and there's no snow, and then you get a song in between, and then that's when the snow happens. So now it's like you have this projection show here. Now, while the actual show, you'll notice, is happening, there's no snow, but as soon as the show itself ends, and then it just little things are happening on the tower, that's when the snow happens.
Mm-hmm. And you can see also there's lighting, but it's really fun to see what happens during each segment. And I personally prefer being up close. I kept moving more forward, mm-hmm. because I wanted to see what was actually going on the Tower of Terror. And there are things that you will miss if you're too far back. Like in a minute here, we're going to see some Muppets. So you see Kermit and Miss Piggy, and then you also have Fozzie Bear as a gingerbread cookie, which you would not see if you are too far back.
Well, especially, there's one that's coming up, and I think that is...
Mickey's Christmas Carol.
Correct.
Is when you see like Mickey and Minnie silhouettes at the window, and then Mickey wreaths and such. But
now that you mention it, I believe we're going to look at it. Now, if you look up into the right-hand corner of the tower, at some point you'll see Mickey and Minnie, and there is not so much of a hidden Mickey right there.
Yes. And also there's a point where Minnie Mouse, you'll see her as well. So it is possible that there's other little hidden... what would you call, almost like little Easter eggs during this that I haven't seen. I bet there are. But I just thought it was fun just kind of watching. Again, I ended up like almost right next to the tower because I wanted to really kind of see everything that was going on.
Well, you're right. And I was wondering.
Look, you can see Mickey and Minnie right now. Do you see upper right-hand corner?
I see it. This very much reminds me of the bar on the Disney cruise
That's
ship.
what I said. The Disney Dream, the Skyline Lounge. That's what it reminded me of with all the people and everything. And I kept thinking, I bet there's other people I know in there besides Mickey and Minnie.
Now, this is sort of the end of the night when everything goes back to normal and you see the Tower of Terror in its now projected state.
Yes, and it really is a fun show, and I would go close to it if you want to find all the details. Now we're heading over to the Walt Disney World Swan and Dolphin. This is an event, the Food and Wine Classic. This was the 8th annual Food and Wine Classic. It is already over, but we really recommend it for next year. We have been getting invited for a number of years. We have also paid for it in the past. But this is really my personal favorite foodie event of the year.
Well, it was unique because it rained this year, so we were able to see how it goes when there is a rain situation. And they actually did it brilliantly. They put everyone inside, and of course, our very first stop was Shula's.
It actually was my second stop, but Shula's, they had a baked ribeye this year, which was fantastic. Every year they have something.
Oh, look at that.
Yes.
I'm glad we're going to lunch after this.
Yes, I'm not going to say where we're going, but, and there is Todd English here with Todd English, who's always there.
I only want my lobster roll if it's handed to me by Todd himself.
Yes.
At this point, of course. Look at that. Very generous with the lobster. Excellent lobster roll. That was the highlight of the night for me. And
you can get as many different samples as you'd like. There is a Crooked Can Brewing Company, which I think has only been here for a couple of years, but is so popular now in the Orlando area.
One of our favorite places, even you who doesn't drink beer, is the Beer Garden.
Right. I mean, they have their pretzel. They have a pork schnitzel. They have a variety of different other beers. There's a pork schnitzel. You drink the beers.
I tried a good selection of the beers. A lot of very nice porters there. Very good. Now, this is something all new for this year, though. Brand new. The
Bubble Lounge, and it's like a speakeasy where you have to have this bubble gum. You have to get a piece of bubble gum, and then you have to give it to them, and then you get to go in. And then there's a little, almost like a little hors d'oeuvres, and then they had other types of drinks and such. So really, for the price, I just think it's a fantastic event.
Well, if you like champagne, too, there's unlimited champagne tastings going on in the Bubble Lounge.
Right. I mean, so many different items. All the food, all the beer, everything is included. The Beer Garden costs extra.
This is where the party is.
We weren't in there for too long, but I liked it was really pretty. But, and there is sushi. I mean, there are so many different items, both food and drink. So it's usually around Halloween now that they do this event. They do it for 2 nights per year, plus there's a class. I don't know if we'll be talking about the class. We did a cheese course, which I really enjoyed. I'll be writing
really
that
good,
up.
Yes,
it was
we will link
fantastic.
to that article. And of course, after all that, we wanted to have some, fun foods.
Right. This is Carnival Corner. Here is, I had never had a corn dog till a couple of years ago at the Swan and Dolphin Food and Wine Classic, and now I've had Disney ones too. And then you have
nitrogen popcorn.
Yes, and they also have funnel cake, which is really good. I had mine with a little Nutella. And then they have a variety of different desserts. So this is like if you've been to the Walt Disney World Party for the Senses, it's in that type of vein where you have so many different food items and drink items, and they do put the menus out way in advance. So pretty soon they'll be announcing the dates, and within a couple months we'll probably know what the menus are. They usually mention that ahead of time, and I will be writing this up hopefully in the next couple days.
Highly recommended.
Yes.
One of my favorite nights of the whole year.
So keep watch for information on the upcoming Walt Disney World Swan and Dolphin Food and Wine Classic for 2018, which will be in about almost 12 months from now.
And that is another show.
That's another show, thanks to our sponsor, MEI Travel and Mouse Fan Travel. Check them out, not only for Walt Disney World and Universal Studios, but for really around the world, and different cruises, including the Disney Cruise Line and Adventures by Disney. They do it all, and they visited all the Disney parks as well. I think they're on the Disney Cruise Line right now.
Yeah, the Disney Dream,
yeah.
The debut of the new Beauty and the Beast show. So that's very exciting.
Yes. So anyway, next week we will be talking all about Mickey's Very Merry Christmas Party, We also have a contest with somebody who, I'll say, Trader Sam's Coffee. So I'm excited about that. You've been drinking that coffee for a while now. And so I'm really looking forward to talking about Christmas next week.
We will have gone to 2 Mickey's Very Merry Christmas parties by the time you hear from us again.
And the Grand Floridian Gingerbread House appears to be opening on the 15th of November, which is the earliest I ever remember it. So we look forward to seeing that next week as well.
Early. Everything is happening so fast.
We're going to be done with Christmas very soon.
That's right. By the middle of November, we will be ready for the Flower and Garden Festival. Bring it on.
No, Festival of the Arts.
Oh, yes. I cannot forget the Festival of the Arts. That's true.
So I look forward to that as well. But yeah, I mean, it's everything does feel like it's happening super quickly. Although Epcot's, the candlelight does not start till towards the end of the month. So
anyway, thanks again for listening. Have a great week, and we'll see you all next week.
Have a great week.